Yeah.
City lights, but nobody knows my name. Walking through the crowd, but it feels the same.
I remember nights staring up at the ceiling, thinking maybe life got a different meaning. Every dream felt distant, out of my reach. Every lesson came from the pain it would teach. Mama said the road ain't never that fair. Some people fly while others breathe air. Some people fall and nobody sees, but the strongest hearts still fight to breathe. I was just another face in the street, just another pair of worn out feet. But something inside me refused to fade, like a quiet spark that the dark had made. Every failure felt like weight on my chest. Every doubt tried putting my soul to the test. People saying I should just play it safe, but safe never built the path I would take. I heard the whispers telling me stop, but my heart kept beating like drums that knock. Every scar that life ever gave to me started shaping who I was meant to be. Now I walk with fire under my skin, not the same lost kid that I once had been. From the silence inside the crowd I found, even the quietest hearts make a powerful sound. I won't break when the world says fall. I won't fade when the shadows call. From the ground where the lost heart stood, rise the ones who turn pain to good. I won't break when the world says fall. I won't fade when the shadows call. From the ground where the lost heart stood, rise the ones who turn pain to good.
So if you're standing where I once stood, feeling lost in a misunderstood, just remember the night gets loud right before a fighter breaks through the crowd. Every legend once stood alone with nothing but a heart of stone.
But the fire they carry through the storm is the reason heroes are finally born. I won't break.
Yeah. Some nights feel heavier than the sky. Yeah.
Yo, I grew up watching grown men fight their fears. Bills on the table, sweating silent tears. No silver spoon, no easy road to take. Just a world that never cared if you break. Every morning felt the weight of the grind. Dreams in my chest, but doubt in my mind. Teachers saying life ain't built for the brave, but brave was the only path that I craved. Every scar had a story to tell. Every fall felt like living in the hell, but the fire in my chest never died, even when hope had nowhere to hide. I seen friends lose battles with the night. Seen strong men crumble under the fight. Life throws punches you don't expect. Every dream coming wrapped in debt. But pressure makes diamonds out of coal, and storms reveal the strength of the soul. I started walking with a different pace, like destiny finally knew my face. The world kept pushing me to the edge, but I refused to fall off the ledge. Cause the louder the storm would roar, the stronger my heartbeat pushed for more.
The weight of the world on my shoulders tonight, but I walk through the dark like I'm built for the fight. Every step that I take, every breath that I own, turns the boy that I was to the man that I've grown.
Now the pressure don't scare me anymore. I've been standing where the weak hearts fall. Every loss was a lesson to learn. Every scar, just another reason to burn. I carried the weight, but it made me rise. Turned pain to power in my eyes. And a kid that once feared the unknown now walks like the world is his throne.
The weight of the world on my shoulders tonight, but I walk through the dark like I'm built for the fight. Every step that I take, every breath that I own, turns the boy that I was to the man that I've grown.
Some scars never fade. They just teach you how to fight.
I remember cold nights staring at the rain, every drop hitting like a memory of pain. People passing by like my story never mattered, while my dreams slowly felt like they were shattered. Mama said the world would test my soul, every step forward came with a heavy toll. I was young, trying hard just to understand why the strongest hearts were born in broken lands. Every bruise, every loss, every silent cry, turning quite a kid into a man who tried, even when the darkness whispered in my ear, telling me that hope would disappear. School halls felt like another battlefield, every weakness something people tried to reveal. Some laughed when I stumbled and fell, like they knew me better than I knew myself. But pain became the teacher I never asked, and every storm made my courage last. I started seeing fire inside my chest, like the worst days were shaping my best. I learned real quick what survival meant. Not every battle needed revenge to be spent. Sometimes the greatest strength you can show is standing tall when the wind still blow.
These scars that I carry don't weaken my name. They remind me exactly why I stepped in the flame. Every wound, every fall, every tear that I cried built the fighter that now walks with pride.
Now I look back at the road I survived. Every broken moment somehow kept me alive. Every scar was a chapter of who I become, a warrior long before the battles were won. So when the world sees the strength in my eyes, they don't see the storms I fought to rise, but I know the truth written deep in my skin. Every scar is the place where the legend begins.
Something changed inside me that night. I stopped running.
I remember standing in the pouring rain, looking at the world that kept feeding me pain. Every doubt that people threw in my face started turning slowly into fuel for the race. All the nights feeling lost and alone, all the times I felt like nothing was my own. Every scar, every lesson I learned was a fire inside me waiting to burn. I realized nobody coming to save. This life only changes for the brave, so I wipe the fear from under my skin and let the storm finally begin. I felt the anger rising in my veins, like thunder breaking heavy chains. All the voices saying I would fail turned into the wind inside my sail. No more hiding from the fight, no more walking away at night. If the world wanted war from me, then war was exactly what they see. The boy who once tried to survive now has something stronger they side. A heart that refused to stay down even when the world tried to drown.
Wake the fire deep in my chest. Let the storm inside do the rest. From the pain that I carry before, now a fighter walks through the door. Wake the fire deep in my chest. Let the storm inside do the rest. From the pain that I carry before, now a fighter walks through the door.
Now my steps sound different on the ground, like the silence finally found a sound. Every shadow that once chased me down now sees a man who won't back down. Because when the world pushed me to the edge, I built my strength on the ledge, and the fear that once lived in my soul now answers to my control. I felt it, like something inside me finally woke up. All the nights that I spent feeling broken, all the dreams that the world tried choking. Every voice saying I would fall was the spark that started it all. Pain used to sit heavy on my chest, like the world was putting me to the test. Blood pressure built something rare, a fire only fighters can bear. Every step that I take now burns, every lesson the hard way learned. Turn the fear that once controlled me into power the world will see.
I feel the heat running through my veins, like lightning breaking every chains. The doubts that once lived in my head now sound like echoes of the dead. Because the storm inside my mind left the weaker man behind, and the kid who used to feel so small now stands 10 feet tall. The same streets that watched me crawl now watch me rise above it all. Every breath, every move I make feels like the ground starts to shake. Born from fire,
rewrote my destiny, and the fear that once held my soul now answers when I take control. A storm that lived inside my chest finally broke out of its nest, and a boy who once fought to survive is the reason the hero's alive.
Born from fire, built from pain. Every loss became my flame. Now the world will hear my name.
The night everything changed. I wasn't running anymore. The city was breathing in silence and smoke. Streetlights flickered like they barely had hope. Footsteps echoing down empty roads, carrying stories nobody knows. I heard a cry in the middle of the night, somebody losing a desperate fight. Fear in the air like a thunderstorm, the kind of moment a hero was born. A younger me would have turned away, pretending nothing happened that day. But something stronger took control, a fire that had been shaping my soul. Every scar that I used to hide now felt like armor on my side. And for the first time in my life, I stepped straight into the fight. Shadows moved under broken light, voices shaking in the night. A man backed up against the wall, two silhouettes ready to make a fall. I felt the anger rise again, but this time something different within. Not revenge and not blind rage, just the courage to change the page. My heartbeat thundered in my chest like the moment itself was a test. And every doubt that once lived in me finally set my courage free. I stepped forward without a sound, the tension heavy all around. And when the storm began to break, the ground itself began to shake.
This is the moment, this is the fight. The first time standing up for what's right. From the fear I once tried to escape, now a hero begins to take shape. This is the moment, this is the fight. The first time standing up for what's right. From the fear I once tried to escape, now a hero begins to take shape.
The silence after felt unreal, like time itself forgot to feel. Two men ran into the dark, leaving behind a shattered mark. The man I helped just stood and stared, like he couldn't believe someone cared. And in his eyes I finally saw the reason heroes exist at all. It wasn't glory or fame or pride, it was the moment someone survived. Because when darkness fills the street, when act of courage can't change the beat, I walked away into the night, heart still burning from the fight. And deep inside I finally knew the legend wasn't someone new, it was the man I chose to be, standing where I was meant to be. And the quiet world was slowly here, that a hero had appeared.
I didn't ask for the story to spread, but the city started talking. Yeah, yeah.
Morning headlines whisper my name, stories growing like sparks in the flame. A man in the street said he saw the fight, said a stranger appeared out of nowhere that night. Some call it luck, some call it fate, some say a hero arrived too late. But the truth is simple, the truth is real. I just did what the moment made me feel. I was never searching for fame or praise, just trying to survive these endless days. But the city has eyes and the city has ears, and courage travels faster than fear. I hear the talk when I walk the street, people pause when our glances meet. Not because they know who I am, but they believe in something they can. Hope is a quiet, powerful thing, like the first sign of light in spring. And if my actions gave it a voice, then maybe this path wasn't just a choice. The same streets that once felt cold now carry stories quietly told about a man who refused to run when the night tried to swallow someone.
Whispers growing through the night, a shadow standing for the right. From the silence a voice was born, a hero rising from the storm. I never claimed the title they say, but the city keeps pushing me that way. Cause once you stand and face the fear, you can't pretend it didn't appear. The truth is power changes a man more than any destiny plan. And every time I hear the crowd, something inside me grows more proud. Not proud for glory, not proud for fame, true, then maybe the hero's someone like you.
Every story has two sides, and mine finally met its shadow.
The city started breathing a different air, like a storm slowly building somewhere. Whisper changing from hope to fear, saying something darker had appeared. Not every man who sees the night believes in using power for right. Some see chaos as their throne, a kingdom carved from broken bones. I heard the rumors through the streets, between the echo of restless feet. A name that carried weight and dread, a man who thrived where hope had fled. They said he moved like a ghost in black, leaving silence in his track. Where he walked, the brave would hide, and the strong stepped aside. But fears never owned my soul. I've walked through darkness to take control. And if the city now needs a stand, and fate just placed it in my hands. Cause every hero sooner or late must face the shadow that tests their fate. And every light that dares to rise will meet the storm beneath the skies.
A shadow rising in the night, a storm preparing for the fight. Two roads crossing in the flame, and neither man will walk the same.
I can feel the tension in the air, like the world itself is aware. Two stories written on the same page, one of courage, one of rage. But every legend that we know was shaped by battles long ago. And every hero history praised once stood where fear and courage race. So if the storm is drawing near, then let it find me standing here. Because the man I chose to be never bows to destiny.
A shadow rising.
So this is the storm everyone feared.
The night felt heavier than before, like the air itself preparing for war. Streetlights shaking in silent dread, every step echoing what was said. I saw the shadow across the road, a calm that carried a violent code. Not a word, but the meaning was clear. Two different paths had finally met here. The city breathing behind our backs, waiting to see which side cracks. Hope on one side, fear on the other. Two forces ready to discover. He stepped forward with fire in his eyes, like a man who believed in his own lies. Power without purpose in his veins, chaos dancing inside his chains. But strength without heart always falls, even when the thunder calls. And the storm that he thought he could own was about to face one of its own. My heartbeat thunder like war drums loud, not for glory, not for the crowd, but because every life in this place now depended on what I faced.
This is the clash of destiny, where the weak never choose to be. Two shadows standing in the flame, and only one will leave the same. This is the clash of destiny, where the weak never choose to be. Two shadows standing in the flame, and only one will leave the same.
The streets exploded with sounding like two forces colliding in the night. Every strike shaking the ground below, every second moving too slow. But courage is something fear can't break, even when the world might shake. In the moment the storm reached its peak, I saw the crack inside the bleak. The shadows staggered, the silence fell, like the ending of a distant bell. And for the first time the city could see what a man could become when he's free. The enemy vanished into the night, but the war was far from finished fight. Because darkness rarely dies in one day, it just learns a different way. But the people watching from afar now knew exactly who we are. A hero forged in battle's fire, standing higher and rising higher.
This is the clash of destiny. This is the clash of destiny.
Yeah. Even heroes bleed, but that doesn't mean they fall forever. The night felt colder than it did before, like the city itself was keeping score. Every bruise, every cut on my skin was a reminder of the fight within. Victory doesn't always come fast. Sometimes a storm is built to last. And even when you stand your ground, the world can still knock you down. I felt the weight of my bones that night, like gravity doubled inside the fight. But pain is something I understand. It's been walking with me since I began. Doubt crept in like a quiet thief, trying to steal the last belief, whispering softly inside my mind. Maybe this war isn't mine to fight, but every scar that shaped my soul started reminding me of the goal. Because the road that heroes take is never meant to be mistake-free. The people watching from their homes don't see the fear beneath the bones. They only see the man who stands and hope he's stronger than he plans. This is the fall before the rise, a storm before the clearest skies. Every hero tested by flame before the world remembers their name. This is the fall before the rise, a storm before the clearest skies. Every hero tested by flame before the world remembers their name. I closed my eyes and took a breath, not afraid of the edge of death. Cause courage isn't the lack of fear, it's standing tall while it's still here. And every moment I felt the pain, I felt the fire return again. Like the darkness tried to win, but only woke the strength within. So if the night thinks I will break, it doesn't know the heart I make. Cause legends aren't built in ease, they're forged inside the tragedies.
A skullman's knife.
The city stood silent under the sky, like the word itself was holding its cry. Every window glowing in quiet fear, knowing the final moment was here. I walked those streets I used to know, where broken dreams once learned to grow. But now the weight of every fight led me back into the night. Every scar across my skin, every war I fought within, every step that brought me here turned my doubt into a spear. Across the street the shadow stood, the same dark force that once had ruled. But power without a soul to guide eventually collapsed inside. He laughed like thunder in the dark, like chaos left his final mark. But storms forget a simple truth, even lightning answers to the root. And strength is more than rage and might, it's the will to stand and do what's right. And every life behind these walls now dependent on how this falls.
This is the final stand tonight, the end of darkness in the fight. From every scar and every flame, a hero rises in his name. This is the final stand tonight, the end of darkness in the fight. From every scar and every flame, a hero rises in his name.
The clash exploded like a storm, two forces breaking every norm. Every strike like thunder loud, echoing across the watching crowd. But courage burns a brighter fire than hatred, fueled by blind desire. And in the moment fate turned clear, the end of shadows finally near. The silence fell across the street, the sound of victory beneath my feet. The storm that haunted every night finally lost its final fight. And in that quiet I could see what the world now saw in me. Not just a man who faced the flame, but the one who changed the game. Some stories end, but legends only begin. The sun rose slowly above the town, lighting the streets where fear fell down. The battle scars still marked the night, but hope was stronger than the fight. People stepped in the morning light, whispers spreading left and right about the storm they lived to see, and a man who set the city free. I walked alone through silent roads, carrying more than victory holds, because the truth about the fight is heroes rarely seek the light. The world will never know the pain behind the battles that we gain. They see the strength, they see the name, but never see the hidden flame. Every moment I almost failed, every time I rose from hell, every doubt that tried to stay built the man who stands today. And the child I used to be is someone I still carry with me, a quiet voice that always knew the impossible could still be true.
Legends rise when hope survives through the darkest broken nights. From the fire and the fight, heroes bring the dawn to life.
Now the city breathes again, free from shadow, free from pain. But stories travel far and wide about the storm that changed the tide. Some say courage lit the flame, some say fate had played the game, but deep inside I always knew the hero they saw was always you.
Because legends aren't born in fame.